Okay, recording in progress. Guys, here we go. Today is Friday, the 23rd day of Shevat, February 2nd. Shluchim from all over the world are calling each other going, how do you make the soup? How do you change a diaper? What do we do? What do we do? Because our wives have gone to the annual convention of Shluchos in Crown Heights for Shabbos, for an extended weekend. We wish them well, and may Hashem have mercy on us. Thank God I got Shalom here to help, and I got Eli, so I think we'll be all right. Okay, in today's lesson, meditation to acquire Yiras Hashem. How do we do that? It's not so easy. Okay, listen to this puzzle. Listen to this statement. The whole world is of no value in comparison to the light of Hashem. No value. But when I do a mitzvah, I attach myself to that light. That's all it takes. So we learned yesterday the importance of studying Torah, connecting to the essence of Hashem. And today we're going to talk about the value and the importance and significance of doing a mitzvah. From this explanation of this stature, of this level of Torah study, that a wise man will be able to draw upon himself a great sense of yira, a great awe as he engages in the study of Torah. Imagine if you think to yourself and oh, that's Jeff. Okay. If you think to yourself, Jeff, I love it. You had to leave. You took the share with you on the phone. Great. If you think to yourself that while I'm studying Torah, I'm connecting to the unity of God, I'm becoming one with Hashem, that should give a person pause. Should say, it's unbelievable. If I just say Hashem, a pasuk from the Torah, connecting to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the deepest possible way. Unbelievable. I'm going to take a sip, but I said a bracha, just in case any of our viewers think I'm drinking without a blessing. No, I said it before we started. L'chaim. My throat. I had to yell at the kids, now the Alfie's away, so now I lost my voice. When a person considers how his soul and its garments of thought and speech are found in his brain and mouth, and they're truly fused in perfect unity with Hashem, and with the infinite light of Ein Sof that has manifested itself in the soul and its garments, that this infinite light of the Torah and his Torah study is of such low level that in the upper worlds and the lower worlds are compared to, the upper worlds and the lower worlds, everything is compared to nothing in comparison with the light of the Torah and the light of Hashem. And not just like nothing. They're nothing. They're absolutely nothing, so much so that they can only bear to have a minute of glow, of light, enclosed in them, without reverting to nothingness altogether. Mibichinas makif lachayusam ikar chayusam rak eze ha'ora mislabeshes b'seicham ma sheyicholim lispel shelo yispatlu b'mitzius legamri. Their main life force, which they receive from the light of Hashem, is not enclosed within them, but it animates them from the outside, so to speak, in a transcendent, encompassing manner. So God gives us the energy. When he considers that the very same divine light that is completely beyond the capacity of all the worlds manifests itself openly in the Torah study, a thinking man will naturally experience a sense of awe when he studies Torah. Make sense? So much godly light happening and taking place and coming into the world. The very godly light that created the world now is in the Torah, and we can connect to that through learning the Torah. Yatzivenu Hashem es kol achukim ha'ela liyira es Hashem v'gomer. This is the meaning of the verse, and God commanded us to fulfill all these statutes in order to fear God. So let's break it down. God created the world. God animates the world through his divine light. And we can easily access that through opening up a chumash and reading a pasuk. You can surpass the entire universe and the angels and the heavenly spheres and all that is in creation and all that is holy and connect to the essence of God by saying a pasuk. That's not going to cause you to jump back and just shake a little bit. You're connecting to the essence of Hashem. So that's what the pasuk means. And Hashem commanded us to fulfill all these statutes in order to fear God. Wow.
How do we keep that with us?
Don't close it. Keep it open all day, even if it's not in the book itself, but in your mind. Keep on saying psukim of the Torah. Keep reviewing. I usually learn with someone every week in his office, and this week it didn't work out. So I left him a voice note. And I said, just keep listening, leave yourself a voice note. Leave yourself a voice note or open up. There's so many shiurim online. You could listen in your ear. You could listen out loud on the speaker in the car. There's Amalek Zeiten before the internet. You could say, if you want to learn Torah and you don't know how, unless you're at a shiur, it's going to be a little difficult, right? But today, there's no excuse anymore because you could open up, you could have on YouTube, on Spotify, on Chabad.org, whatever your source of podcasts, and you could just hear shiurim like nonstop. Torah anytime. It's in the name of it. Torah anytime. Okay, Shabbos you can't. So Shabbos you have to open up a sefer, but that's okay because you're not distracted by work or by, television or checking your phone or anything like that. So you open up a sefer, and no excuse in town here either because there's an eruv, so you can carry a chayenu with you wherever you go. There you go. You got to get a chayenu. I'm going to start getting on your case. Okay. No, you carry it with you and you chazer over what you learned in your head. Again,
That's it.
according to this pasuk, observing the mitzvahs would appear to be the first step. It's very interesting how the Alter Rebbe goes back and forth. First he says, Torah learning is of utmost importance. Now he's going to say that to do the mitzvahs that we're going to receive in this week's parsha, the 10 commandments, which are said in Parshas Yisrael. This week, of course, is Shabbos Mevarchim. Don't forget, Shabbos that we bless the new month of Adar. So according to this pasuk, observing the mitzvahs would appear to be the first step, and this would lead us to the fear of Hashem. According to this pasuk, Yetzivenu Hashem es kol hachukim. God gave us these commandments, all these statutes, in order to fear God. Logically, however, so somewhere along the way, I must have messed up, so you'll have to forgive me. We transitioned from the study of Torah to the performance of mitzvahs. And it keeps going back and forth, so you might get a little confused. Learning Torah is the most important thing. Okay, right now, doing a mitzvah is the most important thing. That's what we're up to. So logically, the performance of God's commandments would seem to be the result of one's fear of Hashem. Not vice versa, not wanting to become close to Hashem. You're commanded to do something. So that would bring about fear of Hashem. The Alter Rebbe therefore explains that the above verse speaks of a higher level of awe, and that which is a prerequisite for performing the mitzvahs. This level can only be attained as a result of one's observance of the mitzvahs. Now, if the commandments lead one to a higher level of fear of Hashem, surely the study of Torah leads one to an even higher level. So the Alter Rebbe mentioned, you see, he just thought that the mitzvahs was what it was all about. So the Alter Rebbe goes back to Torah study, and he says, Im. This is in parentheses. Im ein chachma ein yira. If there was no wisdom, there's no fear. How do you learn Torah? Through wisdom. You have to understand what you're learning. A mitzvah, sometimes you're not thinking about it. You just do it. Someone comes to ask you for charity. You just give it to them. You don't have to think too much. If you think too much, it's usually a problem. In this context, wisdom represents Torah study, and fear, the higher level of the awe of Hashem, can be reached only by way of Torah. By contrast, that's even higher than the mitzvahs. By contrast, the statement, if there's no fear, there's no wisdom, refers to the lower level of fear, which is a prerequisite for Torah study, which is doing a mitzvah or whatever else it might be. Im ein chachma ein yira v'atayra nikra etzlai tarya ledarta. Tarya a gateway to the dwelling. It's like a gateway, meaning the sole meaning of it, of entering the dwelling. It's not about the gateway, it's about getting inside, but the gateway is obviously very important. Ella. The lav kol moicha savil da yira kazai. Not every mind, however, can sustain such a fear. When we learn Torah, we don't feel fear of Hashem, right? It's supposed to be that way, but that's not how we feel. Yet even those whose mind cannot bear such a fear, nor even a minute part of it, because the root and source of his soul derives from an inferior level. We come from a lower level, so we're not fearful when we learn Torah. We're not in complete, tremendous awe of Hashem when we learn Torah. Even he should not be deterred from the actual performance of the Torah and the mitzvahs for want of this fear, as will soon be explained. We'll explain why. Whether you feel any fear, usually we don't, or whether you do, you shouldn't be deterred. You should know that learning so we're going to explain this Inyan a little bit as we go forward. But the point is that when it's time to learn, we think about this. This is the most important thing to do right now. If there's a mitzvah opportunity, that'll be the most important thing to do right now. But if we're learning, we have to stop everything and connect to the essence of Hashem, a core at which all worlds and creations are totally insignificant. So that's what we're thinking. We're not thinking nothing else matters. We're thinking right now, when I learn Torah, this is all that's important to me, between my unity with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Torah that God gave us, the Torah that, as we said the last couple of days, that the Torah and Hashem are one. So that's it for today. Everyone have a wonderful Shabbos. This week is Shabbos Mevarchim. Good luck to all the shluchim out there. You'll survive to see another day, and then we'll talk about it again next year before the Kiddush of Shluchim. Okay, Zaygesund, everyone. Have a good Shabbos.